All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about what Shawn Porter had to say about Errol Spence Jr. and Keith Thurman, a fight that most likely would be what was coming up next for Keith Thurman. Let's do that in this video. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Before I get into the subject matter of the video, thank you guys again for coming and subscribing to Fanon International Boxing. Also, make sure if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can get all notifications. Support our sponsor BUSR. At BUSR, you'll see it down here, .ag/Fanon for the Super Bowl. If you wager on the Super Bowl, you will get $10 per touchdown that is scored afterwards to offset any type of winning, any type of losses, or to increase any type of winnings that you may have made during that Super Bowl. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. All right, so let's get into this. Shawn Porter's talking about was on Marcus Villegas and Fight Hub yesterday, and was giving his thoughts on a bunch of different issues, some things related to Jaron Ennis, some things related to other guys in the welterweight division. Very good interview by Marcus Villegas. If you've not had an opportunity to go check that out, make sure you go check that out. But in this, he talked about Keith Thurman and Errol Spence Jr. and what the path forward for Keith Thurman was. And he said that he believes that Keith Thurman, or he implied that he believed that Keith Thurman, with maybe one more fight, had the ability to beat Errol Spence Jr. in a fight. And also that he believed that Errol Spence Jr. was actually the harder puncher, the more dangerous puncher than Errol Spence Jr. was. And the way that he talked about it is he said, you know, there's some punches that really make it look like, you know, like you look like, wow, you know, that was a big shot. And other ones, you know, that are really, really bad that you just, you know, kind of don't feel it all. And he said that there was a noticeable power difference between Keith Thurman when he got hit by Keith Thurman and when he got hit by Errol Spence Jr. Now, also, you should recall that also applies over to Terence Crawford, because after he was knocked out by Terence Crawford, he had said that, you know, Terence Crawford did not hit him as hard as Errol Spence Jr. did. So that goes right along with what he said in this interview, which is Keith Thurman is the hardest puncher that he had ever faced. Now, he said that if he was him and he had an opportunity to get, if he was Keith Thurman, if he was him and he had an opportunity to go right into a fight with Errol Spence Jr. or go right into a fight with Terence Crawford, that he would do that. But he also felt that Keith Thurman would be better off if he had a fight in between and really got back to some of the things, some of the fundamental type of training that he was doing before, kind of, you know, speed and explosion and sprints and things like that, to get him back, to get him sharper, to get him all the way to where, you know, he was. But he sounded very optimistic that Keith Thurman could compete equally with Errol Spence, could compete equally with Errol Spence Jr. and could compete with Terence Crawford. My take on the matter is that I think he probably can too, if he gets back to where he was before he had those injuries, right? Before he hurt his hands and all of the above. I do think that he could compete with them. Now, saying whether or not he could beat Errol Spence, I don't think so. Personally, I think that he's almost tailor-made. He has a better chance of a fight with Terence, winning a fight with Terence Crawford than he has winning a fight with Errol Spence Jr. And the reason that I would say that is, on the Errol Spence Jr. side, that body is soft, or at least it doesn't look soft, but he's reacting in a way where he's, you know, really feeling shots to the body in the last 3 fights that he had. With Josecito Lopez, he looked like he got bent over with a body shot. With Manny Pacquiao, he definitely got bent over with a body shot from a southpaw. And With Mario Barrios, he got hit in the body. I think it was kind of like a sneaky inside uppercut, and he wound up having to take his mouthpiece out for a while so that he could breathe. Right now, it didn't look like he had hurt as bad with Mario Barrios, but he admitted that he got hurt bad to that body with that body shot to Mario Barrios, and was like, "Look, man, if he would have went after me, he may have been able to get me out of there if he would have been able to come, if he would have came after me, but he didn't do it." Keith Thurman recovered from the body shot. He kept him pushing. But Errol Spence Jr., that is a completely different beast, man. Errol Spence Jr. is the type of guy that is going to continue to press that body for the whole fight and is most definitely going to get some nice shots in on Keith Thurman on that body. And I think that is inevitably going to be the downfall of Keith Thurman in that fight with Errol Spence Jr., especially coming from the southpaw stance, because that's where he got hurt worse to the body was Manny Pacquiao. I do believe that was a right hook. I believe it was a right hook to the body from Manny Pacquiao that caused that had Keith Thurman running around for like 30 seconds, right? Similar to the Mario Barrios, except for I think Mario Barrios was I think that was a left uppercut, a short left uppercut. As far as Terence Crawford goes, Terence Crawford can definitely put that body, you can hit him to the body and hurt him as well. But Terence Crawford does not have the same type of prolonged body attack that Errol Spence Jr. does. So it would more than likely have to be a one big shot to the body that would hurt Keith Thurman to the body for Terence Crawford. But I think that Keith Thurman has a better chance with Terence Crawford because of his ability to fight from the outside and his ability to counterpunch and the fact that he is such a big puncher. And Terence Crawford, there's one thing that has looked a little funny about Keith Thurman. About Terence Crawford is his chin and him getting buzzed and dazed by shots. If Keith Thurman is able to land cleanly on Terence Crawford, he very well may have the ability or does have the ability to hurt Terence Crawford. But, at this point in time, I think Keith Thurman, a couple things would need to happen for that to take place. Keith Thurman would need to take another fight to sharpen himself up, really get himself where, he's very, very precise, because he didn't look as precise in the fight with Mario Barrios. And Terence Crawford would have had to drop the level somehow in training. But other than that, I see it being a 12-round decision for Terence Crawford. But I think Keith Thurman can get stopped by Errol Spence Jr. And I know that may sound a little bit backwards because Terence Crawford is the guy that's been getting the knockouts, and Errol Spence Jr. has been the guy getting the decisions. But the way Keith Thurman is built and the way that body is, it just makes more sense to me. But anyway, man, as far as Shawn Porter and his viewpoint, man, a lot of people were upset with him about what he said about Jaron Ennis. Personally, I'm not. I don't have a problem with that, man. Matter of fact, I like that he's being more outspoken. It gives us other people that that like to talk about boxing something to talk about. When he was in the interview with Marcus Villegas, he talked about how, he was when he first started doing on Fox, and he was, talking on Fox, how they were, giving him scripts and telling him what he needed to talk about, before they actually got out there. And he was like, man, he didn't really want to say and talk about some of the guys or some of the things that they made him talk about. But he got used to almost telling people what he thought that they wanted to hear, instead of being more himself and just kind of coming out and saying the things that he believed. And I think that is probably going to be a better deal for him being a commentator moving forward, kind of in the veins of Teddy Atlas and Tim Bradley, and Andre Ward is getting more like that, when he'll really tell you what he thinks about certain things. So anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.